Describe what you saw, what you've seen so far today, and how the emergency services are responding.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me on. I hope you can hear me okay. So it was, we're 2 weeks away since a big earthquake here in Mexico City. So there's a little bit of irony in that today we actually had, this morning, a mock evacuation from the building. And then an hour later, there was this massive quake. And then the office of Bloomberg is across the street from a Marriott hotel, which I would say is about 10 to 15 stories high. And from where I was crouched, I could see the entire hotel shifting with the quake. And then after the quake, just plumes of dust and smoke all throughout the city. So it's a pretty eerie, pretty scary situation here, and lots of people out in the street. Not a lot of places with electricity. Lots of smells of natural gas seeping out into the street. So it's a pretty rough scene right now.
Yeah, and we're just showing you live images. They're not live images, I apologize, but of people out in the streets, obviously injured people there, as you can see, being treated just on the side of the road.
Adam, does Mexico have an advanced warning system for earthquakes that allowed people to perhaps get out of buildings before the worst of the damage?
Yes, they do. That's a good question. Here in Mexico City, there's something called a seismic alarm, and it goes off about a minute before the earthquake, which was actually the alarm that we heard this morning when we did the evacuation, the preliminary evacuation, it turned out to be. But for this quake, they're actually, at least in the offices of Bloomberg, we did not hear the alarm. So it started to slowly shake, and then we kind of looked around, and then obviously with much more force. So yeah, there is a seismic alarm that goes off in Mexico City. It doesn't go off in other parts of the country, which was part of the issue with the earthquake here 2 weeks ago. So there is a protocol in place. Unfortunately, today the seismic alarm, at least where we were in the financial district, was not heard. And I've heard some other people here on the street saying the same thing, that they didn't hear it, or some heard it late, and it really only gives you a minute to evacuate.